3 weeks ago, I made the commitment to recreate It's like he dropped off the face of the earth. I'm telling you though, I have been hard focused for the last 2 months to deliver the highest quality. Alright, anyway, let me show you what I've been working on. Hey, this bad boy's starting to actually look like a video game. It's still a little rough around the edges, but you can see where the idea is going. There was a lot of learning that went on over the last couple months, figuring out tile maps, enemy state machines, and how to make the 2D camera do what I want it to. We're finally free of the Godot icons, and I've learned that there's a polygon tool, so we won't need to use that any longer. I've had some hardware issues over the last month or so. I've had to replace parts of my computer because it tried to, detonate. As Smokey the Bear would say, only you can prevent graphics card fires. The problem that I'm having with this whole video game is that you'll notice that this bad boy right here, that's my brain, right, is incredibly smooth. If you want to grab your coffee or popcorn here, and I'm just going to throw some spaghetti at the wall, so thanks for being my volunteer wall, and let's get started. Even though I have a game design document, I really don't have a minimum viable product in its totality. This is going to be my minimum viable product. Thank you as well for participating and attempting to read my handwriting. One of the core elements that I have, I want this game to be defined by like 5 hours of gameplay. Presently, I've got planes that the player can interact with. For right now, I think that's going to be a solid number. As far as what our 3 planes do, that's different. They don't really have anything distinguishing, so maybe that's through different sounds. That's certainly going to be through the different weapons. One of them is going to have missiles and some more explosion things, but I do want them to be marked as different from each. Close my parenthesis there. I was thinking about doing procedural generation, but honestly, that's just a lot of work, and I was having problems getting the plugin library to work out of the box for me, so I think a few hand-painted levels is probably well within the scope of what this project looks like. 3 themed level maps. I know the original Wingnuts had kind of like different themes and time eras. I think it could be cool to do like a pirate / like ocean style where you're fighting pirate ships, futuristic, space battle, alien invasion. I mean, obviously it doesn't make sense to have airplanes in space, but also it's my game, so like whatever. Spaceships, heck yeah. A World War II era, like your tutorial, right? So if you get through the beginning and say, hey, this is interesting, then you're rewarded with more game there. And I think that's something that's crucial for the game. Save game, options menu. I'm not a composer. I guarantee somebody's probably going to want to turn down the music. Our audio bus, so they can turn the music down. This is my brainstorming session. I don't know if you got that. This is my little brain. The problem that I'm having with this whole video game is that you'll notice that this bad boy right here, that's my brain, right, is incredibly smooth. Back to our options menu here. This is super crucial, right? We also want players to be able to resize their screen. And I think as far as options go, we're not going to reinvent the wheel. We're not going to do anything crazy. What else is key to the identity? There's a lot of stuff from Wingnuts that I'm like, I could take it or leave it. I think one of those big things is power-ups, a power-up system. Wow, we'll make it all sparkly. The original game featured stuff like extra fuel and shields, and totality should just be scrapped. Feel meaningful or impactful. There were cool power-ups that you could get where you like turn into this giant thing or explode this like nuke and destroy all of the enemies within an area. Those were super cool, and these were always the ones that were super exciting to get. And so I'm thinking 3 to 5 meaningful power-ups, something that you get excited about. You know what, I'm just going to call it PU, because if they're not good, it's going to stink.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
And then weapon upgrades. Upgrades, people. Upgrades. We want to all feel really cool by blowing stuff up. This is my mushroom cloud. Kind of looks like a tree. If I were to just like paint it green there. There you go. Power-ups and pickups. I think those are super crucial. Get rid of the stuff like extra score. Ugh, we're not even going to be keeping score in the game. Why? Because you're not playing with anybody, because Anyway, I'll let you finish the punchline to that joke.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine. But
Quality of life things here. I really like the radar, the mini-map in the original Wingnuts games. You don't feel lost all the time. And something that game does not include, though, is some sort of progress indicator. The game that Wingnuts is based off of, Time Pilot, does have a progress indicator that kind of tells you, hey, here's how many bad guys you have to blow up in order to get to the next level. Wingnuts does not have anything like that. And when you are procedurally spawning in enemies, and it's like, is this ever going to end? I don't know what that looks like yet. What else? What else? The carrier. I don't want the aircraft carrier to go away. I like the idea of repairing at the station. That just kind of feels like it's a fun part of the game. I also like that the carrier shoots bad guys too. So it kind of turns it into this like tower defense kind of deal, which is really cool because you have to protect the carrier, even though when the carrier dies, it's kind of like this thing ever. So these are our apps down here. There we go. I like this because this is like our treasure box for our pirate. Yeah, that's definitely a treasure chest. Something else I want to do with the maps, we're not doing procedural generation. I want to be able to make these interactive, and I don't know how to do that. I've been thinking a lot about like Mario Kart has been a lot of my inspiration, both for some of the design strategies, and I've been coming back to ideas about how to make it more interactive. And some things that I think Mario Kart does really well, the interactions they get with their unique maps. Speed boost pads, pickups. I kind of, when we talk about pickups and power-ups, doing a random kind of deal, so we don't know what we're going to get. There was kind of a meta gaming in Wingnuts where you could hoard your power-ups and save them for later, and I think that's really stupid. You're punishing the player to encourage them to not play the game. I don't know. This just seems dumb. I'd rather give the players more power-ups and feel cool more often and encourage them to hoard and not stuff in the game. Being able to interact when the map or the environment changes how the game plays. This is becoming less legible like I promised you it would. There's another game called Unrailed that I think does this really well. You play through these different worlds and the game completely changes. Final parting thought here. I worked really hard on this, by the way. This is a juice box. Let's get some sound effects. Explosions. Heck yeah, dude. Particles. And, you know, music is fun. Give you something to relax to. I think this is a good list. My brain, I can confirm, is still on the smooth side, but there might be at least one wrinkle that's now present. Our minimum viable product, this is what our target is, and, you know, somehow I got to figure out how to get all of this done before December 31st, because I really don't want this to be going on for the rest of my life. I think it's possible to get all of this. I got to figure out how to make that work, and we can start tackling one thing at a time. Thanks for coming on, watching, and helping me put together a game design document. This is going to be kind of our punch list, right? That's a little checkbox. If this is at all interesting to you, I'm sure you have far more information about how to actually do this and do this stuff well. I would appreciate it. Stay involved in the process of this because I will take all of the help that I can get. I hope you have a great week. I got a lot of work cut out for me here. Jeez. So I'm going to go get to work. I hope you have a good one.